Suzuki Alto in the snow, 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 whoa, snow, snow, snow. Hello YouTube. A quick Suzuki Alto updates for you all, because for some reason this car's proved a little bit popular with some of you, as it is with me. Now had it over a year and it's starting to show a few signs of wear and tear, but generally it's still performing awesomely. It's been a lot of heavy snow around here in the last few days, and the Alto hasn't found anything that can beat it so far. I abandoned the snow socks idea that I showed in a previous video. They didn't actually last very long after I made that video. A small tear in one quickly became a big hole, and then it became a bit useless. So my final verdict on those is they are pretty good for getting you out of tough situations, but they're not really suitable for extended use. So what I've done instead is get some snow proper winter tyres fitted at a local tyre place. They were quite hard to find online, but I just rang up the garage and they found me one within a day, and they did a pretty good job. And these tyres have turned this into an off-road, well, a snow machine. Being front wheel drive and very light, it seems even better than a lot of people driving around in expensive Range Rovers with probably just general purpose tyres on. It certainly seems to be able to go quicker. As you can see, the snow in some of these parts is quite deep. I actually came down this way this morning when the snow had just fallen, so there wasn't even any fresh tyre tracks to follow. Although actually that's a bit of an advantage, because these snow tyres seem to work better on quite loose snow. Once you get compacted ice, they struggle a little bit more. As you can see, I'm going up a reasonably steep hill here with a lot of snow and ice, and it's not really having any problems. Doing nearly 20 miles an hour. I like seeing the looks on people's faces when they're the only other people out on the roads are in high-end pickup trucks or tractors or 4x4s, and I drive past them in this old banger quicker than they're going. So I don't have a lot more to say. Oh, actually, yes I do. I'll talk about a few mechanical things. So although I generally do praise this car, they are built cheaply, let's face it. So you are going to need to replace parts as they wear out, and this one's starting to suffer all the common things that seem to go wrong on Altos from what I've read. At least one of the front CV joints clicking very loudly when I turn left or right sharply and accelerate. I think it might be both joints in actual fact. I've seen you can buy the full axle with both joints on for about £180, but you can get just the bit that's wearing out for about £20, although it's a bit more fiddly to replace. I haven't decided what to do there yet, because if I'm honest, I'm getting a bit tired of working on cars at the moment with a family and other hobbies. Spending half a day freezing cold lying on the ground covered in mud and grease swearing at something isn't always the most fun pastime. But yeah, I probably will get round to it. I've just done an oil change. These sump plugs for some reason are very hard to find, so I've taken a few measurements there so I can buy a general purpose one. The hazard flasher switch, as you can see the red one there, it doesn't seem to work properly. You press it and it stops the indicators from working, but it doesn't put the hazards on. And they seem also to be, for a very cheap car, a lot of these parts are quite expensive. I think that switch on its own is 30 or 40 pounds. What else? The cam belt and fan belt needs doing. From having a look at it, the fan belt looks pretty easy to do. I don't think it's ever been done, and this car was made in 2003. The cam belt looks a little more tricky. It looks like you have to undo the engine mounts and lever the engine up and down a bit to do it. but I'm sure with a few hours work it's doable. I just have to decide whether time or money is more important to me there, and whether I get a garage to do it. The gas struts in the boots are pretty much gone, and they're also really expensive. They're sort of 20, 30, 40 pound each for just some cheap little gas struts. I wonder if it's because this car just doesn't seem to be very common, so the parts are naturally more expensive. And I also did a bit of research and found out that this car isn't actually really a Suzuki, interestingly. There's not a lot of information online. This is a 2003, it's a 1.1 engine, and I've been wondering for a while why I can't find much on it. And it seems it is actually an Indian Maruti Alto that was badged as a Suzuki. So it's officially a Suzuki, but really it's an Indian Maruti, which is why not a lot of information's out there. But if you are struggling to find parts or information, perhaps try looking for the Maruti Alto 1.1 instead. You might have a bit more luck there. Apart from that though, and a few dents in the windscreen from chips and stuff coming off the road, no complaints. Still loving it. It's costing me nothing to run, apart from replacing a few parts every now and again. As you can see, I'm now going uphill pretty steeply up a track which not many people would take on a day like this. We've had a lot of snow overnight, and it's not missing a beat, doing nearly 25 miles an hour. I could probably go a bit faster if I really wanted to. And that's it. There'll be a few more updates from me soon, possibly. It's getting a bit harder to make videos now. I've got a pretty busy job, and also YouTube's decided not to pay small video makers anymore, which does remove a little bit of the motivation. I know money's not everything. I was only getting about £30 a month, but hey, it's £30 a month, it's not bad, and it's a nice little motivation to get you making things. So we'll see how things go on that front. I do start getting paid again if I get 1,000 subscribers and lots of minutes of view time, I think. So if you want to help me out there, give it a subscribe. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching. See you next time.